15 years ago, while working at the post office, I came across a set of UK A to Z stamps that sparked a dream of travel and creativity. And now, I'm finally bringing that dream to life in my dad-built campervan. So far, we've conquered London, the West Country, Oxford, and Bletchley Park, which brings our tick-offs to 9 out of 30, with a few speed bumps along the way. Oh my god. It's blown. But nothing prepared us for what was coming next. He just falls backwards off the ledge. He just starts screaming. Let's go back to the beginning. Morning, everyone. So we're all packed and ready to go. It's about 6 something in the morning. We have a long drive, so we're just leaving now. In this episode, our A to Z quest takes us to the north. Our first stop is Ironbridge. So Ironbridge is a famous village in Shropshire, and it's named after the first iron bridge in the world. Next is Jodrell Bank, which is in Cheshire, and it's owned by Manchester University. It's got the iconic Lovell telescope. Next, we head to Manchester Town Hall, which is famous for its Gothic, Victorian architecture. And our last A to Z on this trip is Blackpool Tower, which is very iconic and loved in the UK. It was inspired by the Eiffel Tower. So yeah, that's right, you heard me. 4. We're doing 4 A to Zs on this trip. Ugh. Love a narrow English country lane that's meant for two-way traffic. Eek. Thankfully, I've dealt with worse. Let's take a close-up of our park up.
Park up, close up, we're finally here.
So the campsite we're staying in is called Poolview Caravan Park. Here's their water point labelled not drinking water, which, as it turns out, is drinking water. So you carry on down the hill to the shower block. So here are the toilets and basins. Whoa, 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 stop the music. I have something I want to say about these showers. Out of the 3 cubicles, the first lock didn't line up with the door. The second lock was missing the slider you used to move it across. And the third, finally, a working lock. But wait a minute. There is no shower head. And there's no knob to even turn it on. But fear not, at least there is a sturdy shower curtain to preserve your dignity. And we were assured it was clean. What nobody mentioned was that the campsite's only washer and dryer were in the women's shower block, so naturally men were coming in too. That's enough of the circus for one day. If you hadn't already noticed, alphabet spaghetti is my go-to quick lunch for Jack, but I can only get away with it once a trip, so I always save it for the day we're doing the most travelling. And as for me, I'm going to try and recreate a wrap my sister made me the other day. Don't judge, it's my first attempt. So we have a whole grain wrap, some light mayonnaise, add in some chicken. Okay, the next time I make this wrap, I'm definitely reordering the layers. What am I even doing right now? all checked in, filled up with water, had lunch, looked around the campsite, and now we're just waiting for our Uber to go into Ironbridge. So I spoke to the lady who owns this caravan park, and she said that there's a World War II reenactment going on this weekend. So to not even bother attempting to drive into Ironbridge and parking because it's just going to be manic. So she recommended taxi or Uber, so we're just waiting. Okay, we've just arrived in Ironbridge. What's that behind us? Ironbridge is home to the world's first cast iron bridge, built across the River Severn in 1779, and is considered a symbol of the Industrial Revolution. So we are actually on Ironbridge. At us, yeah. Trying to get a nice picture if it's possible. Whilst it wasn't possible to get a nice picture of me and Jack, I did manage to get some good shots of Ironbridge. This is my favourite one. We can tick off I. Unfortunately, Jack wasn't a fan of the flavour he chose, so it's chocolate for the win. Like, literally, we have the same shoes.
No way we have the exact same.
And same music taste. Because everything you're playing, we're like, oh yeah! We're back at the camper. That ice cream was the first naughty thing I've had in 3 months, and I've lost 2 stone in that 3 months. So I'm feeling a bit guilty, even though I know I deserve it. We all deserve a treat now and again. So we're gonna go play some football so I can work it off. So there was a bit of an incident last night. We walked around the campsite for ages looking for somewhere to play football. Although this is a child-friendly campsite, there is nothing here for children at all, like not even a bit of grass, like a patch of grass where they can play. All we saw that were signs that said keep off the grass. We walked around, we found like a beautiful lake, but again, nowhere for kids to play. So we ended up playing football on like this gravel patch near our camper. And literally we'd only just started playing and our ball falls off this wall. And I said to Jack, like, right, that's it, you know, we'll buy a football in town tomorrow. But he's quite attached to this ball, like he loves it for some reason. So he's very fond of this ball, so he wanted it back. So I said, oh, okay, I'll, because this wall, it had like a ledge. So I was like, I'll lift you down to the ledge, stupidly. There's no way I was going to get down there and lift myself up, and he wasn't going to be able to lift me up. So I thought, if I lift him down and then lift him back up. So I lifted him down onto the ledge and he just falls backwards off the ledge into the bushes? Yeah. Into like the bushes. And he just starts screaming, and I literally just like jump down there and pull him out. And then obviously I had to wait for people to help me get out, but he's really hurt himself. So we are just going to show his arm. He also hurt his legs, but his chest came off worst. It was just horrendous. So last night, you know, I just didn't feel like picking up the camera or doing any filming. We were both in shock. Jack was just quite sensitive and emotional all evening. And yeah, I just didn't eat dinner last night. I just felt rubbish. It was horrible, wasn't it?
Yep.
But we're going to hope for a better day today. We're not playing football here ever again. So we're going to make sure that there's a suitable place to play football. And we're just going to hope for a better day. We're back in Ironbridge to take a look around the village. It's so beautiful here. Taking a stroll down the River Severn. So we're right by the riverside and Jack's a bit concerned about me being this close. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't let him down here, to be fair. But yeah, got a really nice view of the bridge. Very nice. It's just so beautiful. Like, what a hot day as well. Hello. What a lovely cat. Yeah. It's like, come on then, give me more. Cheeky little thing.
I'll give you more.
We headed back onto Ironbridge and then this happened. What's that? The parade from the World War II reenactment made its way through the heart of Ironbridge. Reenactors dressed in authentic uniforms marched by, and for a moment it felt like stepping back in time. After seeing this, we'll definitely be attending the World War II event. Beforehand, we spent some time exploring the village. Ironbridge is full of charming independent shops, and each one has its own unique character. One of the shops that immediately caught our attention was the bookshop in the centre of the village. Packed floor to ceiling with books, it felt like one of those places where you could easily lose track of time. Next, the toy box, a family-run toy shop that feels more like stepping into a storybook. Inside is beautifully laid out across different themed rooms. We began our walk towards Dale End Park. This is the River Severn with a beach-like shoreline right in the middle of the village. And we made it. A quick play in the park before we head over to the event. The annual Ironbridge World War II weekend transforms Dale End Park into a living history experience. Reenactors, vintage vehicles and military displays recreate life on both the home front and the front lines, making it one of the area's most popular events of the year. Jack even got the chance to hold some deactivated wartime firearms and learn a bit about their history.
Line it up with there, then you can aim at things.
Despite how it looks, it definitely wasn't snowing, it was just seeds blowing off the trees. Here's a fun fact. That dummy was actually used in the filming of Fury starring Brad Pitt. We make our way back to the campervan for some lunch. Back at the camper and I'm making the fuss pot some plain pasta. Meanwhile, I'm having the same wrap as yesterday, but this time I actually layered it properly. I wish I'd have recorded it. You'd all have been so proud. Now it's time to sit back and relax and watch some Deep Pocket Monster before heading back into Ironbridge for some dinner and to watch the last Premier League game of the season. And look who just so happened to be in the beer garden of the pub where I was having my Sunday roast. So Jack and I are in the pub watching the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal game at Selhurst Park. It's the last game of the season and I'm here to see Arsenal lift the Premier League trophy. I'm a massive Arsenal fan, hence the tattoo. And I have waited 22 years for this. I was not going to miss it. There is no A to Z that was going to make me miss this. Well, I cried. Me and Jackie are just on Ironbridge one more time before we head back to the camper, and then we'll be saying goodbye to Ironbridge. Goodbye, Ironbridge. We've just left our campsite and we're heading to Jodrell Bank. I can see it. That's the Lovell telescope. We've just arrived at the car park of Jodrell Bank. So I don't know if you can see it behind me there. I'll turn the camera around. I just bought Jack an activity book which is right up his street. It's full of little challenges and questions with stamps to collect from different points around the site. Here it is, the Lovell telescope. I actually managed to capture it moving, which I've sped up so you can see it more clearly. Standing beneath the Lovell telescope really puts things into perspective. At 76 metres tall, it has been exploring the universe since 1957. Named after Sir Bernard Lovell, the telescope stands as a tribute to the man who founded Jodrell Bank and transformed radio astronomy. The first act of the newly built Lovell telescope was to use radar to detect Sputnik's carrier rocket. It was the only instrument in the world capable of doing so. How cool is this? Quantum Jungle is an interactive art installation inspired by quantum physics, made up of a huge wall of touch-sensitive springs and LED lights. Inside the First Light Pavilion, there's plenty to explore with interactive exhibits and fascinating stories from the world of astronomy. More than 60 years on, Jodrell Bank remains at the forefront of astronomical research. Another mission accomplished. So we finished Jodrell Bank. We're heading to our campsite near Manchester. It is so hot. We got back into the van and it says 38 degrees. Oh no, not this again. Oh sheesh. On this occasion, I just had to come to a complete stop so they could get round me. We've just arrived at our campsite. It's called Whitecroft Farm. It's a CL site, so there's no shower blocks. We're going to have to use our campervan shower tonight. So I filled up the water tank just now and it's just too hot to do anything. Like, it's 31 degrees and we're just melting. We're not going into Manchester today. We're going to go tomorrow, hopefully early before it's too hot. But yeah, boiling, absolutely boiling. We'll take a look around the campsite in a bit, but we're just trying to cool off a bit. So this is the lovely Whitecroft Farm. You've got the fresh water on one side and the CEP on the other. It definitely has the country farm vibe. This is the property where you'll check in. We are set up just through here. We have our electric hookup plugged in on the right, and these bales really remind me of my childhood. taking some time to chill, so Jack's doing a puzzle whilst I'm watching one of my favourite YouTube channels, Campervan. I've just cleared out our shower so it's ready to use. The shower head has failed and is leaking out the bottom, so I guess I'll be buying a new one. Excuse me whilst I try and remember how this thing works. That's it for this episode. Tune in next time to see the unexpected issue we run into in Manchester. Another great trip, and I'm happy to report back that Jack's made a full recovery. Thankfully, he only sustained some grazes on his chest, arms and legs. Nothing long term, no sprains or broken bones, so we have to be thankful for that. So as you'll notice, this is only part 1 of our trip to the north, as we went for a full week, so it was quite a lot of footage to get into one video. So part 2 will be out in 2 weeks' time. So if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so you can come on this journey with us. And stay tuned for part 2 of our trip to the north. Take care. Mwah.
Photography, show us what you see.